Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Shat and this is Discover on Two Wheels, and we are out training in the Surrey Hills on a beautiful day. Cool, looks like today we are up for a treat. Sunny, nice. Though, I've seen one guy when I was cycling here to the meeting point with jersey and shorts, and I was like, me, it's like, okay, it's sunny, we're still 3 degrees, I've got like 3 layers and 2 socks on. Also, we go for a long ride, so it's needed. We're gonna kick off the week with 100 kilometers. Today we're going down towards the south again. I think we're just gonna go cross the M25 and then turn back. So the weather is good today, so we're gonna probably run a good time. And then there is only one big hill we have to do, but we're gonna have to do that twice because obviously we're coming back on the same route. And yeah, means that I'm gonna have to do another 100k on Thursday. Thursday is gonna be rainy though, so I'll see. I might just take a rest. We'll see. Anyways, we are off. Boy, that was good. We did already both of the hills, so we are probably like 60 kilometers done with the route, and the sun is out and it's awesome. Like, there are a couple of really nice things here. One is the views. Some of the views are amazing. You just look to your right, look to your left, and then there is a green space, animals out, stuff like that. It's really freaking cool. We do the training, we're pushing it. And you have a little bit of a dilemma that, oh my god, it's such a nice spot. Do you want to stop, take a picture? No, you're gonna have to carry on and then just push the training. So yeah, because of that, I decided that I'm not gonna stop. I miss so many nice spots, so many. And then you just have a glimpse. Hopefully I managed to capture some of them on the GoPro. But yeah, with the GoPro, I'm not going with a very wide view, so probably not much will be visible, but we'll see when I start doing the editing. So yeah, from here is only downhill, maybe another 40 kilometers, and sun is out and it's really nice and bright, warming up, so that should be an easy ride.
This is lit.
I just got home, cycled 100 kilometers, and for the last 10 kilometers I was thinking about it, like, get home, drop the bike, go to around 5k, and so this is what I'm gonna do. So yeah, setting off in a couple of minutes and then try to do a 5k. Let's see if the legs can take it, or what if I've completed the 5k, what kind of time I'm gonna come up with. So yeah, let's get going. This is how you look after doing 100 kilometers on the bike and then run 5 kilometers pretty much immediately after that. Big freaking vein on the forehead. Yeah, anyways, I made the 5k, so it wasn't worse than just running on a normal day. Time was a little bit slower because I did it in, I think, 28 minutes or so. But the worst part of the whole thing is the whole experience is that the salt on my lips is killing me. It's like somebody poured acid in my mouth. So I'm not even gonna mess too much about. Go home and wash myself because this is horrendous. It's actually properly. Anyways, yeah, I'm chuffed that I made it. Okie dokie, so check in. today the goal is 122k, and I think I did roughly half of it, 60 kilometers. And there's just so many things I want to say about this training session. Number one, it meant to be raining today the whole day, and luckily the strong wind blew away all the clouds, so there was barely any rain. I had a little bit of a spitting like 20 kilometers into the ride, so that's amazing. The sun is out, so I'm getting a bit of a suntan, hopefully. I'm gonna look like a raccoon, but I don't even give a f. Now, the next thing is that this ride, I think this is pretty much exactly what it's gonna be in Iceland. The wind is like 35 to 40 kilometers an hour, and it's just mad. When I was leaving London, coming out to Epping, I was like, yeah, I can't feel much of the wind. Yeah, I realized that the wind was coming from I had tailwind with a little bit of a crosswind. Though it makes the cycling really, for me it's exciting. I like it because you got the buildings, and then because of the buildings are covering the direction of the wind, you don't feel much of it. But then once there is a gap between the buildings, you get this massive blow from the side, and it almost throws you off. And it's just like you have to react quickly. It's kind of exciting. I kind of like it. Some people got probably upset with it or scared. I don't know. I love it. Now, with the wind also, like coming up towards Chelmsford, it was pretty much tailwind-ish for the whole ride. So I was holding like a good 28, 29 kilometers an hour average speed, which for me is pretty good. Now, from the turning point, I got the headwind, and honestly, it's like I'm pedaling forward, but I'm moving backwards. It feels like my mouth is so dry. It feels like somebody put a leaf blower in my mouth and then switch on with the turbo mode on it. It's like 0.2 seconds. It's like feels like the Sahara. Yeah. By the way, what reminds me, whoever invented the leaf blower, f you, mate. It's the most annoying thing ever made. Why gardeners have to come around your place? Like, I live in a block of flats, so the gardener comes around like 6:30, 7 a.m. and start blowing their shit. Nonetheless, it's freaking windy outside, so whatever you do doesn't make sense anyways, because you just blow it, and then 3 seconds later the leaves are all over the place again. So anyways, shit, there's so many things I had in mind while I was doing the ride. Like, yeah, the wind blew away my memory. Anyways, I don't know how much. Hey, look at my hair, you can see like the wind is pretty strong. So yeah, let me think. So the other one is the environment. I mean, this is pretty much one of the best rides I did since we started to cycling, or I'm doing, because I'm currently still 60 kilometers from home. But yeah, it's only country roads, like small roads. I had maybe a few kilometers on like a single carriageway, nothing on a dual carriageway, and it's just, everything is just green. You got nice lands, little villages, and it's like such a nice place. So this route, this exact same route, I am definitely going to do it. Maybe in a couple of months time when it's gonna be a little bit warmer as well, hopefully with less wind. But again, I don't even mind the wind, because it just gives me that that Icelandic feel, because people keep telling that Iceland is gonna be quite windy, and then because we're gonna be cycling down on the south coast, you're pretty much exposed to the wind. There's nothing to protect you, because it's constantly gonna be hitting from the seaside or from inland. Doesn't matter. It's like almost being in a fucking tornado. Yeah, speaking of which, tornado, like at one point the wind was so strong, I felt like it's gonna pick me up. And there goes my helmet. Anyways, I was like, well, if that happens, I'm just gonna high five Dorothy and Toto, and then wait until the wind slams me back on the floor, pick myself up, and then just carry on. Alright, I'm gonna go because my helmet is decided to just go, so I'm gonna catch it. Ciao. Alright guys, today I'm going to be talking a little bit about endurance training. The last few weeks I spent talking about strength and conditioning, how to program, what kind of exercises to use. So today we're going to have a look at more the endurance side of training. In today's episode I'm going to be discussing three different things. The first one is going to be the adaptation of the cardiovascular system to endurance training. The second one is going to be the adaptations of the muscular system. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about the aerobic energy system, because the main source of your energy production is going to be your aerobic energy system. First of all, let's have a look at what is cardiovascular endurance, and that is the ability of the circulatory system, including your heart and your blood vessels, and the respiratory system to transport oxygen-rich blood to the working muscles over an extended period of time. Usually that is longer than 90 seconds. If you participate in endurance training on a regular basis, your body, including your heart, will go through certain changes. One of the biggest changes your heart goes through as the result of endurance training is cardiac hypertrophy, which means that your heart will grow in size, and that mainly affects the left ventricle. As a result of the increased size of the heart, your maximum cardiac output will improve. The maximum cardiac output is the amount of blood your heart can pump out in a minute. Also, as a result of the cardiac hypertrophy, your stroke volume will increase, and the stroke volume is the amount of blood your heart can pump out in one stroke. And now, because your heart can pump out more blood with every single beat, your resting heart rate will decrease, meaning that you will need less beats per minute to propel the same amount of blood through the body than before. Another adaptation of the heart is improved contractility, which simply means that the heart muscle will be able to contract a lot stronger. If you regularly participate in endurance training, another change you will see in your body is the increased number of capillaries, especially when it comes to the alveoli and type 1, the slow twitch muscle fibers. Not only the number of the capillaries will change, but the structure as well, thus resulting in a more efficient gaseous and waste product exchange. Thanks to our training, the number of red blood cells will increase in your system as well, and with that the oxygen carrying capacity of your blood will increase. That means that you can transport more oxygen to the working muscles. Next, we're going to have a look at muscular endurance, which is the ability of the muscle or muscle groups to contract against resistance for a prolonged time. If you think about swimming, running or cycling, you can see that the individuals are completing the same movements over and over again, so the muscle have to contract over and over again. And for that to happen, you need muscular endurance and of course a base level of strength as well. And of course, as a result of endurance training, your muscular system will go through certain changes as well. Most of these changes are happening on the cellular level, just like the mitochondrial adaptations, such as improved composition and increased enzyme levels. Just in a nutshell, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. This is where your ATP production happens, and it's also responsible for recycling some waste products. An average person have roughly about 50-50% of type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers, slow twitch and fast twitch muscle fibers, but as a result of endurance training, that ratio can shift, resulting in an increased number of type 1 muscle fibers. These are the slow twitch muscle fibers. These are the ones what you use mainly when you do long distance running, cycling, swimming, football, so on and so on. Another adaptation of the muscle cells to exercise and endurance training is the improved oxygen uptake, which is mainly the result of the improvements of your cardiovascular system, such as the increased stroke volume. I mentioned it a little bit earlier that one of the roles of the mitochondria is recycling, and the mitochondria is actually responsible of recycling lactate. When we exercise, lactate will start accumulating in our system as a byproduct of energy production. If the intensity is low enough, then the mitochondria will be able to recycle most of this lactate, so very little amount of that will go into your bloodstreams. Now, when you participate in regular exercise, such as endurance training, your body will be able to deal with lactate a lot more efficiently, meaning that more lactate will be recycled by your muscle cells, so less of it makes it into the bloodstream. The last adaptation I'm going to mention on this list is the decreased glycogen depletion and improved fat oxidation, meaning that your body is going to be less reliant on sugar and will be able to produce energy using fatty acids more efficiently. I'm going to briefly talk about the aerobic energy system as well. When it comes to energy production, the human body has three ways of producing ATP. Two of them happens in an anaerobic environment and one method happens in an aerobic environment, which means that the presence of oxygen needed to produce ATP. ATP is a short form of adenosine triphosphate, which is also known as the energy currency of the human body. If you look at the diagram, you're going to see a very simplified explanation on how the body creates ATP using glucose, fatty acids, or protein and oxygen. ATP production is a very complicated chemical process which includes several stages, and as I mentioned it earlier, it requires some sort of a fuel and the presence of oxygen. When we produce energy, we create ATP molecules, and as a waste product we're gonna have carbon dioxide and water as well in a form of sweat. The aerobic energy system would be your number one energy system when it comes to longer duration exercises. Any activities over 90 seconds will about 95% rely on your aerobic energy system. In order to improve your aerobic capacity, you have different training methods at your disposal. One of them is the much debated and much hated steady state cardio, and that means that you're gonna go for long durations, long distances, running, swimming, cycling, whatever is your chosen sport. Steady state cardio training, in my opinion, is not only important to develop your aerobic capacity, but to condition your joint as well. It can be low impact or high impact, but you're gonna have to go through a certain number of sessions, a certain duration, to make sure that your joints adapt and then they can take the load in the upcoming events. Another training method which is gaining more and more popularity is the interval training. The main idea here is that you're working with a specific rest and work ratio. Interval training is an excellent method to pack in as much training in as little time as is possible. So if you don't have the time to cycle 3 hours a day, you can do an interval training for 1 hour, setting a very high intensity in your workload and a medium to low intensity active recovery period. And with that, if performed on a regular basis, you can create almost identical adaptations, just like with going out for a long steady state cardio session. The third method I'm gonna mention today is fartlek training, which is technically a type of interval training, but I'm gonna stress your body differently than a normal interval training where you're working with a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 work to rest ratio. Just to give you a quick example to help you to understand what is fartlek training, if you go on a treadmill running training session, obviously after your warm-up you're gonna start working with different intensities and different durations. Now as the part of the main workout, you're probably gonna start somewhere on a medium intensity, go for a couple of minutes, then you're gonna jump up to a higher intensity, let's say 80-85% for a minute, then drop back to 30% for 2 minutes, and then jump to 70%, stay there for 90 seconds, come down to 50%, stay there for 3 minutes, jump up again to 90%, push it for 30 seconds, drop it back down. So this is how a fartlek session would look like. And with that, we arrive to the end of this presentation and actually this video as well. If you have any questions regarding the training, as usual, please feel free to let me know in the comment section. I also left the link of my website in the description below, so you can click on it and then hit me up through my website. I will get back to you as soon as I can. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel. And as usual, I left all of the social media links in the description below. You can follow us on Strava, Komoot, Instagram and Facebook as well. Stay tuned because I'm gonna be back with the new episode next week. And in the meantime, take care and stay safe. Ciao!